everyone, this is Roberta. I just thought I'd try to put together a little video today, trying to put a little something together. Not sure exactly yet what I'm doing. I have this piece of paper. The sentiments are a little blurry, but the paper is nice and thick, and so I thought I'd use it to back a piece of paper towel. This was from a red Bic ink pen that was leaking through my pencil holder onto my craft table, and so I used some alcohol to break the ink up and daub it up with a paper towel. And I love the colors that came from it because it was just a red ink pen, but you have these slight orange and yellows and pinks that are coming through from that red ink, and so I just thought that paper towel was really pretty and just wanted to work with it. So I'm just going to glue it to this page using some acrylic gloss and attach it on there, and then just try to figure out what I'm going to do with it after I get it on there. This isn't anything I've done before, so this is just basically experimenting today. You always need a lot of glue, and I know this isn't actually glue, but it can be used like glue, so that's how I'm using it today. And if I need to, I can mist some water through the paper towel to try to wet the acrylic gloss to help it come through to attach better if I need to. And I cut this extra strip off, and I'm going to add it on there. Need a little bit more glue. Try to get off what's on the side there. I need to get some paint brushes that are specifically only for the use of applying glues and glosses and such, because I hate using my paint brushes for that. They get bits of icky glue in the deep ends of the bristle. Still function, but I don't want to ruin them. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over and add some gloss on the top of this as well, just to put a coat of finish over it so it's easier to work with. When you put this stuff on, sometimes if you are applying something, you're not sure how it's going to turn out. You can often dab it up, wipe it up, wash it off. So you can kind of fix your little project if it's not turning out as you'd planned. And I can see this isn't adhering down in all the places I'd like for it to, but that'll be okay. I'm going to put more stuff over it. Okay. And I have a little bit of gesso. I was going to do a little bit of a wash in a couple of places just to give it some texture, and what I like about gesso is it actually works as a like an embossing as far as repelling inks or other things. So instead of the color coming through like it does on uncoated paper, if you have some gesso on there, it actually comes through just a tad differently. More transparent, because it prevents the ink from going all the way through. Okay, I'm going to hit the thing with some heat, try to dry it up a little bit. And I need to pick it up to make sure it's not sticking on the back. I'm going to turn it off, and when it's done drying, I'll come back. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I just got done finished drying this, and I'm going to cut it into some ATCs and do some work with it. I do want to do a section of it, doing a journal or a prompt on Mary May's Creative Cafe where they're doing bubbles. And so I want to do one of those as well, and do some with flowers. Turn this over on the back so I can get a better idea of where I need to cut. Most of my crafting goodies were gifted to me, including this cutter that I received from a Facebook friend when I lived back in Ohio. We exchanged a bunch of different things. I had an abundance of stamps that someone had gifted me, and she had a couple more cutters than what she needed. And I just love this one. It's old and used, but it works wonderfully. Okay. Alrighty. This corner is the one I want to get the bubbles out of, so I'm going to make this one 3.5 wide up here. And I want to make sure to cut this one first as 2.5. I really like the concentration of that red ink, which you can see right there. I think it's really pretty. And then this half I want to get, because it's more white, I want to do some blue bubbles. And then I think I'll pick this, let's see, could actually do it 2.5 this way and cut it down. I'm trying to get more of the color in, so there we go. I always save the little scraps. I never know when I might be able to find a way to use them. 3.5. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and cut these later, just work on the 3 that I have now. You don't need to see me cutting them all up. For the bubble one, I'm going to work on that first. I'm using a stencil that Janice Whitstein had gifted me. And I have some golden glass bead gel and modeling paste, and I'm going to use it with a little bit of blue ink. Haven't done this before, so just going to play around. I love the close to my heart ink pads, but they are sometimes a bit of a challenge to kind of open. I don't want too much, so if it ends up being too dark, I'll end up getting rid of some of the ink, but we'll see how that works for now. I'm going to dab a little bit of the modeling paste, and it's interesting that when I see it listed on Facebook groups, people are always put molding. Because it is. It's called molding, although it's actually modeling. They've even got it wrong on here. And then I have some glass bead gel. I want to add just a little bit of that, just to give it a little bit of a texture. This stuff is interesting, and I've only used it one other time and haven't really figured out the best way to use it. And now I'm going to look for a paintbrush that I don't mind messing up. This is one I've used with glue. That's why I have some tape around it, so I know it's not one I care too much about. But I'm not going to use the bristle end anyway. I'm just going to use the back end, kind of mix it together. Hoping you can see this. Yeah, you can. I have my camera hanging from my shop light, which is over my desk. And actually, this doesn't look like it's very dark with the blue paint like I thought it would be. Looks more gray, actually. Let's see if I can add some more ink into this. Do a little daubing close by. See if I can get it to get pulled in. There we go. Okay, now I need to pick this up with a credit card so that I can smear it. Ready, here we go. And I have this positioned on my paper. I'm going to hold it down as best I can and just kind of smudge this in to apply. Wonderful gritty effect. And I want to scrape whatever's on the top so I can make use of that as well. I don't want it all just sitting up on the top. Little glass beads. Interesting. I'm going to have this bit left over, so I'm going to have to figure out something to put it on. There we go. And I'm going to let this dry. This is just paper, but I'm going to clean it off because you can see the glass beads are going to make it not be able to get a clean stencil the next time I use it. And I have this little bit here left, so I think I'll just go ahead and put it on this extra one that I have. And I won't get much, but just a little bit that I get from it will be nice. It's never about getting something perfect, it's just about having fun. I really love the texture, and even the color's pretty awesome. I'm going to go ahead and just put this on the edge and then kind of gently smear it. Give it some texture on the edge of the ATC that I'll be making with this. Alrighty, so I'll set this one off to the side to dry, and also this one, and clean these up with a paper towel, which I over here. This has some pretty purple and turquoise paint on it from a different project I did last year. I want to be careful in rubbing this because it is paper, not plastic sheeting like most stencils are. You get all these little teeny tiny glass bead balls on here now. Alrighty. Now that it's clean, I can use it again. This way. Okay, see all the little glass beads? Need to find a way to get those up. I'm going to wet my paper towel and see if I can do it that way. See if it's going to pick it up. Nope, didn't work. That's okay. Alright. Cleaning up takes some time. Don't really have it. My camera will end up shutting off, so I'm just going to go ahead and swipe this off. And unwrap my paper towel because I'm not throwing it away. Definitely be able to use it again. It just released more of those little balls, so I'm going to have to open it up over the trash. Buggers are everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to work on this one. I'm going to do some background stamping on this, and some of these colors I haven't used. I've had these inks for a while. Got them off of a resale website or a Facebook group. And I'm not trying to get this stamped all the way, and I don't really want it that dark, so I'm just going to very lightly apply in different places, and the fact that I'm not getting words is okay. I like that I'm just getting little bits of the color, but I'm going to keep tapping it until the ink is off the stamp. This one is a Stampendous Memories, and the color is Berry. That's probably only the second time I've used it in the 2 years that I've had it. Okay. I'm going to go for a different color. This one is Close to My Heart. This is actually one I won on a different Facebook group from a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ohio. She likes to offer goodies on a free website that she does things, and then she has little parties at her house, which are a lot of fun, and invites people to come in and make cards and whatnot. Okay, this is the Close to My Heart, so you have to open it up this way and put it away. Okay, now that color is really light, so it didn't show up that much, and I need to get me a different stamp, so hold on here. I want to do the word love on here. So I want to do something with a flower or a heart. Not sure yet which I'm going to do. Now I'm going to use this one. And see if I have a red. This is called Holiday Red. And I have not used this stamp before, and I can see that it's beading up. I'm not going to get a good transfer, so I'm just going to kind of stamp it off on this one in a way that the word actually doesn't come all the way through. Then I'm going to condition the stamp by using an emery fingernail file and just gently go over it. I am applying some pressure, but not too much, and as you see, I'm using the finer grit side, not the harder grit. And what this does is it gives it little scratches on the finish of the stamp. And each of the little tiny scratches, they're not microscopic, but they are small. And what happens is it helps it to be able to hold more ink. And right here, and on the V and the E, and even this area here does not have very good pickup, but you can see the pickup is much better everywhere else. So still not ready, so I'm going to go ahead. You can see in the places that I showed you that it's not transferring that ink very well. So I'm going to go ahead and scratch it a little bit more, or give it a little bit more rubbing in those areas to see if I can get a little bit better grip for the ink. Alrighty, this should do. Okay, you can see it's picking up ink a lot better, much better. Alrighty, get that ink off of there. Now, the thing with using this as a block is I cannot even see where I'm putting it, but abstract art, so. And you don't want to do chest compressions, but you definitely want to make sure that you give the ink time to transfer. And pick up carefully. And the ink didn't transfer like it would if it was straight paper. I have the gesso and the acrylic gloss on here, so it's not going to transfer as well as it would the other way. I'm going to use my finger, dip it in some water, and just wash off my stamp here. And then dry it off with my towel. Okay. Now I want to get a couple of flowers on here, and I was thinking about doing some fabric flowers. And these right here. And yeah, not too sure about the colors or anything. I think I want to color this one with some peachy orange color to see how that's going to look. So I'm going to get some ink from, actually I'm going to use this here. This is from the Poppy color. Let's see if I can find it. I love this color. It's Crafter's Acrylic Poppy Orange from Deco Art. And it's with copper eyeshadow. And this one tends to stay at the top, and this is mixed with water, not alcohol. But what I'm going to do is just set those off to the side. And I'm also going to get the pink. I have a pink one here with silver. And this is Diva Pink from Apple Barrel. This one is with alcohol. This one mixes really easy. But none of the spritzers work. No matter if I, no matter what I do, they don't spray like the ones you buy in the store. I've cleaned the nozzles and tried different things, but no matter the mix of the paint to the eyeshadow, water, alcohol, whatever, it doesn't make it come out of the spritzer, so I always have to apply it this way. And it takes a couple of coats and drying it because the color is watered down, so it's not that concentrated. And this one I'm going to put some more of the pink. I really like the pink color. And then it's got this really beautiful copper glitter stuff in it from the eyeshadow. Looks amazing. Okay. A little bit more of the orange on this one. And I'm going to use the dryer, the heat tool. Because they're saturated, they shouldn't start melting just yet. They should just start absorbing the color. I need to get something to hold it in place. Don't know where my pokey tool went. Here we go. I'm going to turn this off while it's drying so I can save battery. Okay, so they're almost dry and they're getting ready to start curling. This little one here has started already. So I'm going to go ahead and finish. Once they start melting, they kind of curl up, get a little bit smaller. And now I'll just put them together. This little thing is hot. I have to be careful so I don't burn myself. You want to be really diligent about watching how it's curling so it does only in the way that you want. Alrighty. This one here is not curling up that much yet, so we're going to work on this one. There we go. Alright. Should be enough. And then I can just take these two and put them together. And then I need to get me a brad, so I'm going to pause again. Be right back. Hello, I'm back. So I have the flowers and the brad, but I would like to make the brad this peachy color. And I don't have that ink color, so I decided I would try to make it by mixing some inks. And then also I want to stamp a butterfly in that color on paper, then fussy cut it and apply it on here. Haven't done this before, so I'm just going to try to make some ink color by dabbing some red on this block. There we go. And it's the same red that I used for the word love. And this creme brulee is the same color I used for the squares. And that way the colors are all still consistent with the card having all the same colors. This color is not so easy to see, and I'm being careful not to mix it in. And for the brad, I'm just going to use my little paintbrush and try to pick up some of the color and then just paint it on. And I haven't done this with a brad before, but what I have done with a brad is stick it in some embossing ink, Versamark, or even glycerin, since it's basically the same thing. And that's not exactly the color, but I'll dry it and then we'll see if it's going to stay on. If not, we'll just leave it the yellow color, because it won't matter. Okay, we'll see if that'll stay. And I'm going to kind of blend these colors a little bit and then try to put the stamp in here. And I need more of the yellow color to make it more peachy, so I'm going to stamp in that ink color first, and then just tap my stamp on this one. And it's going to get pretty much a variegated color. It probably won't be a solid, but that's okay. Let it sit for a minute so it can transfer the color. There we go. Close up the inks so they don't dry. Get that ink off so I don't manage to get it on something else. And then I'm going to fussy cut the butterfly. And I think the color's kind of close. I have this thread, not sure exactly what you call it, but anyway, the color's kind of close, so I thought I might find a way to add it on here. And I'm not really good at fussy cutting, like Brandy, who makes cards, and she's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. She's really good and really fast at fussy cutting, and she says she actually enjoys it, and she will often do that instead of using a die, just because she's so quick at it. Sometimes it's faster for her just to go ahead and fussy cut instead of taking the time to pull out the equipment to do the die cutting. And I'm not going to worry about trying to keep the antenna. The antenna are too much detail to really worry about. And these are Stampin' Up! Scissors that I also had gotten from that Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ohio from the Facebook group, where she would gift it. What she would do is she would, you know, have certain items a couple times a month, and she would have a drawing, and people would just comment on a particular thread for particular items they were interested in, and she would do a random generator to draw who the winner would be. And she didn't have a thing where if somebody had already won, that they couldn't win again. And so sometimes people would win more than one thing a week. Sometimes I won more than one thing a week, and sometimes I didn't win anything at all. And it was a lot of fun, and I was really appreciative and grateful that she was doing that, because that was how I was able to get some really nice stuff, including these scissors, which are amazing for doing fussy cutting. I've bought other scissors, other brands, and they are not the same quality for doing the fussy cutting. These are exceptional. Okay, I'm just going to rub this and see if it's coming off. Can't quite tell because my fingers are already red. It looks like the color's going to stay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this or attach it. And I want to put it in this area because it's kind of dark. So I'm just going to stick it in here. And this thing is really sharp, So I should be using my pokey tool. I have this little white one that I got. Use it. Okay. I love adding brads to the centers of flowers because it makes them so pretty. And instead of using my fingernails to kind of pull these apart, I try first to see if I can stick a point of this in between these two, because they're stuck together from the paint. And then I just shove it down the middle to kind of separate them out, and then push on either side. There we go. And then the butterfly, I want to color the edges of it. And I'm going to use this pink pen to kind of outline it. Hopefully the ink will keep coming out. Sometimes these pens, you'll try to do some work and they end up drying out or get clogged up and it doesn't keep coming out. It can be frustrating. I want to get some Posca pens because Posca pens, I haven't seen too many issues with them having that. Most people I see that use them are able to continue finishing their project because it doesn't get clogged up. Like my Sharpies will get clogged up on me. My pens. So, this is a pretty bright pink, but I'm also going to do the edges of it in black when I'm done, just to give it a little more contrast. And then if I remember, I'm going to curl the edges of the wings, just that bit, and then pop it up on some dimensional tape. This is where that pop of color is going to come from, against that bright pink. The only thing about doing these is you can't quite get into the little tight areas. I think I'm going to cut into the die cut a little more so that I can move the wings and try to get in. And the tip on that can go in there. Get that. And the Sharpie tends to bleed, so whatever you're working on, it doesn't just color the edge of the paper when you're doing this. It also kind of sucks into the paper wicks it. Let me get the extra fine tip, see if that works a little bit better. There we go. It's not much, but just that little bit of detail makes me happy, so. Since it's my art, that's what matters, right? I like to make other people happy with my art too, but first I have to be happy. And see, now this Sharpie's deciding it doesn't want to write. Okay, I think we got it. Alrighty. Now to curl the wings, I want to get a really skinny paintbrush. And some of these ones I have really thick handles. But I'm just going to take and just kind of press along the edge and kind of curl it. And that's too much for now, but it will get uncurled in a minute, so it just has just enough and not too much. Now I'm also going to go from the middle on the sides and kind of push in. And then right here I'm going to add the 3D dimensional tape, and I don't want to use my good scissors for cutting the dimensional tape, so I use my Fisker's Duck Edition, and they're the Teflon coated, so the tape doesn't stick that bad to it. Alrighty. And this is probably going to be too long, so I'm going to have to cut a bit of it off. And then I'm going to mash that back down so I can apply this, and then I just use my thumb and just press it to get it in, and then to get this off. The tip of this it's kind of curled like this, so it has like this little hook, and I try to use it to help me get this backing off, because this is something I always struggle with. And I always hated that the tip of this was bent when I got it. But I'm grateful now because it serves a really good purpose. Okay. Not sure where. Let's put it this way. Like it's coming in at the flower. And I want to use an ink pen to outline the word love, which I should take this off and do it before. I'm going to put my hand in here. I'm going to go ahead and pause while I do this because it's going to take a little while.